The next thing, of course, is one of the most important things in terms of learning is you've got to learn it and see this. Okay. But seeing it not, you have to see it in practice. You have to see how we actually do it. Not just, okay, on a partner who has to put up with the technique while we learn it, but in the clinic with real illnesses, and then see how fast those changes are and what our expectations are. And so I strongly encourage you, any of you, all of you, at some point to come and spend some time in our clinic in Asheville, which is designed as a teaching clinic and set up that way. Some of you have already been here. I mean, you've been. 4 or 5 people in here have already made the trip to Asheville to see what we do. And you can find information on our website. You can also head to London, where James runs our sister clinic, UG Clinic, and with appropriate cajoling, you can observe and see what they're doing in that clinic. And then we've been talking with Michel about him opening his doors so that people can observe who've trained with us and are doing this work to see how it's put into practice, how he puts it into practice. Because if you think about who are the famous names in Chinese medicine who were in China, and they're out there. We won't say their names because we didn't ask permission, but we all know who they are. Every single one of them spent a lot of time following a teacher, day after day, year after year. And yet somehow the teaching in the West is we go to school, there's a student clinic, and then we graduate, but we didn't spend all that time the way that we did with the teacher all the time. And so there becomes this idea of, oh, those people lived in China. It's nothing to do with China. There's a billion Chinese who are terrible at this medicine. I mean, it's just, it's the truth. It's the fact that somebody spent time with a teacher and that teacher invested in them and told them what was going on. And it could be in China, and it could be in London, and it could be in North Carolina, it could be in Bremen, it could be in Australia, it could be anywhere. But as long as once we have our foundations and know what we're doing, and then somebody says, hey, look at it in practice. This is the success. This is the failure. This didn't work. We're going to try this next time. This worked really well, but I'm not going to do that on this patient because this is different, even though it's very tempting to try and do the same thing. And to see it in practice is so helpful, I assume. Yeah? Yeah. How is it? Yes? Yeah, they're like, you're supposed to yell. Yeah, man. Okay. And please get in the way of seeing medicine done. And it doesn't have to be with us. Those famous names out there, contact them. Go to their clinics. See what they do. Or I also strongly urge you to find out who their senior students are, how long they've spent with those senior students, and observe them. Because if someone says to you, I've spent 15 years with Mr. Bing Bong Bing, right? And then you go to their clinic and it's not very interesting, would you want to spend 15 years with Bing Bong Bing to get to that person's level of skill? Maybe, maybe not. But ask yourself that, because the best way to learn from a teacher is to spend time with their students and see if their students are nice, right? If they're all jerks, chances are there's a problem, right? And are they any good? And have they told you they're a student, but when you do the math, they've only spent maybe 12 days over 7 years with that person, okay? You go out there, people say, oh, I've trained with Andrew since 2002. Yeah, I saw them in 2002. I haven't seen them since. They were in a seminar of 100 people. They're trading on my name. I'm not going to track them down, but it's up to you to say, what's really the math on all of this? And then if you meet someone, no matter what it is, and they're good, and you like what they do, and you say, if I put in the same time, I'd be thrilled to be where they are today, then you invest in that person. You invest in that line of knowledge. I don't care whether you invest in our knowledge. I care that people invest in clinically focused results, whatever they may be, right? This medicine is a great medicine. And what's our new hat? Our new slogan? Make TCM great again. It's a good chance for us to really spend some time together, both in this room and out of this room, and have some fun. One of the gifts that I had was I had great teachers, and my great teachers were really invested in making sure I was not a disappointment to them because they were teaching a foreigner and they didn't want to lose face, right? My pet monkey has to be smarter than your child. right? It's no joke. I mean, I'm like the pet monkey, right? I'm like the foreign. Look at this. I got the foreign student. Look, he can jump, he can speak, he can talk, he can drive a car. Like, how cool is that monkey, right? And I'm hairy, so I'm like the definitely monkey over there. But you're teaching the foreigner, everyone is like, ha ha. So they all made sure that when it came time to do something, the monkey did better, right? But more importantly, is I ended up taking them on tour and translating for them, seminar after seminar, traveling with them. And so we get stuck in airports together, and all our meals are eaten together, and we catch colds together, and we laugh together. And
What else?
I mean, we were like, I got to see a real human. And then you start saying, wait a minute, how did this person who's a real human with the difficulties they have with their families and everything that happened to them, and they're tired at the end of the day, seems like all powerful in the seminar and everything is going on. And you think, oh, they're just human. And you could go, oh, I wanted a guru. I wanted someone special. Look, he's just human. But then you stop and you say, hey, that's just a human who, no matter how tired, kept working and got that good, not because they were special, not because they were from another planet, but because they're normal human beings who just committed. And then someone led them, someone taught them, right? And so it's a good chance for you to realize that, all of us are just people with children or no children, pets and no pets, all sorts of problems. Everything's going on. We're tired, all of these things. And yet we still do it. We still get up. We still practice. We still treat our patients and we care. We're committed.